Fantasy Wiseguys. It's week 5 of the 2007 NFL football season. We're back from a 2-week hiatus, I guess you could call it, Jeff.
Jason, you can tell them what it is. It was suspension.
We're not proud. It was a suspension. What happened was we were actually named by Rodney Harrison as the HGH supplier. We apologize to the commissioner. We're so sorry. We were suspended for 2 weeks, but we're rejuvenated now.
It was without pay too.
It was.
Add that in.
It was tough.
And and the thing is, we thought the HGH would help our picking, our abilities. It didn't. It didn't help us at all. So kids, stay away from this stuff. It's not good. All right, it doesn't work.
Stay off drugs. But we're back. We're rejuvenated. Had a little rest. Ready to take you through week 5 of the 2007 NFL season.
We were questionable for week 4. Now we're probable for week 5. I'd even say we're 100%. We practiced all week and we're ready to go. All right?
Probable. Definitely probable.
Probable. All right.
So we've changed our format a little bit. We got some emails, made some suggestions about our format. What we're actually going to do is we're going to start the show by giving you our 2 free agent recommendations. We're each going to give you 2 free agent recommendations for this week. And then we're going to take you through position by position with recommendations on
a player that we think is going to do very well this week,
exactly.
And a sleeper as well.
Exactly.
And that's going to be our format. Now, you can email us questions, fantasywiseguys@hotmail.com. Starting this week for next week, we will start answering questions again. Just because of the time off, we couldn't do that this week. So, you ready to move on, Jace?
Let's hit it.
Here we go. Waiver wire pickups. Jason, give us 2 guys you think are solid waiver wire pickups for week 5 and beyond.
My 2 solid waiver wire pickups are backups. Generally, they're backups. I love Gus Frerotte this week. St. Louis plays at home against Arizona. Gus Frerotte is stepping in for Mark Bolger. Got a lot of weapons there. Really.
Yeah, he does.
I'm not sure what happened with Bolger this year.
He's hurt. He's hurt.
He's hurt.
He got the rib injury. So
he's hurt. That team is not clicking.
Okay.
But maybe Gus Frerotte can step in. If he can pick it up, then there's no reason to think that he won't remain the starter for a little while.
Who else?
Ken Keith. Joseph Adai has some injury issues we know about. He's questionable again. Questionable this week. If he can pick up Ken Keith and slide him in as a starter for just 1 week, I think it'll be worthwhile. The Indianapolis offense, they're fantastic. So, Ken Keith. And Jeff, who are your 2 picks?
2 picks. Number 1, Selvin Young, the backup running back for the Denver Broncos. As we all know, anyone that's played fantasy football, the backup in Denver usually is as good as the starter. So if Travis Henry goes down, he is questionable this week. Selvin Young, I think he put up 80 or 90 yards last week. The guy's going to produce. Pick up Selvin Young. Number 2 pickup, Andre Davis, wide receiver in Houston. Andre Johnson's going to be out again this week. Houston plays the pathetic Miami Dolphins defense. Oakland put up a ton of points on him. Dante Culpepper had 5 touchdowns. So Andre Davis as a fill-in for wide receiver this week. And I wouldn't go beyond this week. This week for sure. After that, when Andre Johnson comes back, it's good to have him on your bench. He's a good player. And he had 100 yards this past week, so the guy can't be that bad. So those are my 2 pickups.
He may be a nice number 2 wide receiver. Who knows?
It's possible.
Who knows?
It's possible. All right. So now let's move on to the quarterback position for week 5.
Sure.
In general, a couple thoughts so far this year. Brett Favre, we apologize. You are the man. We thought you'd be down this year. The guy's unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
You can't. You should never doubt him.
Never, and we never will. He could be 65 years old, and we'd probably have him in our top 10 from now on. The guy's unbelievable.
It does help him that they have no running game and that they're just throwing the ball all over the yard. But Granted, he's still completing passes, throwing touchdowns. The guy's remarkable.
Yeah, and another guy that we noticed is in the top right now is Derek Anderson for Cleveland. Do you think that can last, Jason?
Why not? Who knows? Who knows? It's Cleveland, right? So you certainly can't expect it to last, but you never know what's going to happen.
Braylon Edwards, Kellen Winslow, and Joe Jurevicius. 3 big, solid targets. It can last. I think it will last. And
the running game isn't nearly as bad as it looked in Week 1 against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh shut them down. Since then, the running game's been decent.
Okay. Now, let's go over a pick. The guys we think will do well this week. Jason, give me guys you think that will do well this week.
I love Vince Young. He's playing at home against Atlanta. I bet he's going to at least run for 1 touchdown, throw for 1 or 2. I think he's a solid play this week.
Okay. I like Jay Cutler. They play at home against San Diego's defense. San Diego can't stop anyone through the air. They can't do it. They're not a good defense. They're not the same as they were last year. I love Cutler this week. If you have him in your lineup, if you have him in on your bench, and you have anyone else besides Peyton Manning or Carson Palmer, you use Cutler, I think, this week.
Use over Tony Romo?
Maybe not Tony Romo. Thanks for that one.
Sure.
Sleeper.
Jeff, you have a sleeper?
I do. My sleeper for this week is, who do I like? Chad Pennington. They play at the New York Giants. The New York Giants secondary. They look good against the Eagles, but the Eagles couldn't stop the Giants' pass rush. The Jets will be able to do so. I think Pennington's going to take advantage of that. Have a nice week through the air this week. Jason?
I love Jason Campbell. Plays at home against Detroit. Detroit on the road hasn't been able to stop passing game at all. Josh McCown threw for 400 against them. Donovan McNabb went absolutely bananas against them. Jason Campbell, I mean, Josh McCown's not that good. So, who knows? Jason Campbell could do it. Great. The wide receivers stink. They stink. They're horrible. But he'd be my pick anyway.
Okay.
Just because the matchup. Only a matchup play.
Sounds good.
So we'll move on to running backs.
Let's do that.
Any commentary on running backs this year?
Well, my first thing is everyone's complaining about LaDainian Tomlinson, the lack of production. In certain formats, he's still the number 5 guy overall. Unbelievable, but he still is. So by the end of the year, he will be at the top. Another guy, Brian Westbrook, I think I picked him as my number 3 guy this year. The guy's a stud. I mean, he gets hurt. That's him. But
Sure.
But you know, I think Brian Westbrook's going to still be there at the end of the year, just the way their offense is.
What do you think of Ronnie Brown this year? He's had an unbelievable past 2 weeks. If you remember last year, he was a top 10 running back preseason draft.
Top 5 even. It was that high.
In some drafts, he was a top 5 guy.
That high.
He stunk last year. But he's cranked it up. Well, the last 2 weeks, who knows?
Two words: Cam Cameron. Brought over from San Diego, running the San Diego offense. Now the head coach of Miami. They know how to run the ball. He knows how to get yards from his running back.
He's catching passes. He's just running the ball.
So
he's done a nice job there.
So I think Ronnie Brown will stay up there. I like him this year. All right, guy we like this week and a sleeper pick. Jason?
I love Willie Parker playing against Seattle at home. We know what he did against them in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and I love him. I think he's a fantastic fit in that Pittsburgh offense, and he's my pick this week.
All right. Good bounce back week for Willie. Last week he didn't do that.
Yeah, last week was tough. He had a tough time.
It was a tough week. So,
but I think this week can be a nice bounce back for him.
I like whoever starts for the New England Patriots at running back, whether it's Lawrence Maroney or it's Sammy Morris. They play against Cleveland at home. Just find out if you have either of those guys and they're starting running back, they're my pick for the week. They're going to roll. I expect a multiple touchdown day from one of those guys, and I think that's a pretty easy pick, but that's a given. I like either of those guys.
It's a tough one you have to be watchful of the injury list.
You do.
And pregame chatter for that one. And who's your sleeper for this week?
The sleeper is Lendale White for Tennessee Titans. They play at home against the Atlanta Falcons. I think they're going to run all over them. I like White as the main back this week, and I like him to produce at least one touchdown, 100 yards, and possibly more than that. Jason?
My sleeper is Deshaun Foster from Carolina. They played New Orleans this week, who hasn't been able to stop anybody, and I think he's going to be a decent play this week.
Okay.
That's my sleeper.
All right. Now, on to the wide receiver position.